Sage Northcutt in his last fight, he got hurt a little bit worse than I had realized. It was this crushing blow to the face, and he went to the hospital. And he kind of like sent out some Instagrams and kept the world apprised. But I didn't realize he's now come out and he said it almost severed a nerve in his face that caused him some feeling that he still doesn't fully have back. So here's the thing. Sage is so young and he's so talented and he has so much potential. But the question becomes, can you come back from that? Right? And I'll tell you right now, guys, it's all speculation. There's many fighters. Generally, the rule is no. When a fighter's knocked out, he'll never be the same. Now, that rule has been a little bit more tried and true in boxing than it has in MMA for whatever reason. But in boxing, we have seen guys that after their first knockout, they're just never the same. If they get knocked out twice, boy, a lot of times they don't even get the opportunity for a third. And they're shy and they're sheepish and they're not the same. The whole time they went all these years thinking, I could never be knocked out. I could never be knocked down. I got the iron chin. As soon as you find out that isn't true, sometimes you're scared to engage and therefore you don't engage. And if you're not firing while in a fist fight, you can see how well that's going to go for you. In MMA, that really hasn't been the history. We have seen guys, sure, that were striking heavy and got knocked out and had a little bit of that psychology that some of the boxers did. But we've also seen MMA guys that just were able to transition to something else. Get a little bit more grappling aggressive, use kicks, keep the guy at bay, but different tactics. And they were able to come back okay. I saw, and I hope that that's the case for Sage, but before anybody writes him off, give him a chance. I saw one firsthand. It was Randy Couture when he fought Rico Rodriguez. And it was a world title fight, and Rico got on top of him. And Rico started bringing strikes down. And as he was doing his ground and pound, one of Rico's elbows went right into the eye socket on Randy. And it was so bad, it wasn't just the eye. When they did surgery, they had to go behind the eyeball and get something fixed. And I mean, I remember seeing him after it. He couldn't open his eye. It looked terrible. He kept saying, I actually feel pretty good. I'm glad they did the surgery. But looking at him, it just looked really bad. And Randy wasn't a spring chicken back then, right? He must have been 36 years old by the time he fought Rico, 37. And as tough as he was, I don't think very many guys would have come back from that. I don't think they even would have tried. He went all the way to world championships after that in 2 different weight classes, by the way. I mean, that was one of those things where he just looked at it totally differently. Instead of looking at it and going, oh my gosh, I'm mortal, I'm human. Instead of doing that, he looked at it as, okay, an elbow to the eye can really hurt me, so I'm never going to let anybody elbow me in the eye again. Next time I'm in that position, I'm going to work harder, I'm going to scramble, I'm going to move more, I'm going to get my own hurt, get back up to my feet. That was the lesson he took from that. Now, that's a very unusual lesson for a guy to come away with, but that's what Randy did. He was a very unusual guy. He was a very unusual athlete with a very unusual level of success. And I bring him up as an example because I don't think that anybody should write off Sage. He went out there, had a fair fight, got hit. But as far as projecting that he's going to be tentative or shy or anything like this in the future, or shouldn't be given the opportunity to go out there and try again, I think those things are silly. Who knows? It's going to be one of those things in hindsight. Maybe he has the Roy Jones effect, sure. But maybe he has the Randy Couture effect. Maybe he creates the Sage effect. Let's cheer for him. Wish him the best, and let's see what happens.